How's it going, folks? Doing good? Hope you're coping fine. It's been a silly few months, but don't fret, you can always rely on me to give a nice positive review of a figure that I like. I'm not the sort to make a video about something I dislike. I'd rather tell you what figures I think are nice, and then maybe encourage you to go and get one of your own. Ripping into a bad figure can be cathartic for sure, but it's not for me. So without further ado, let's say something nice about Universe 2008 Ironhide. Oh. Okay, a few years ago I did this thing on my other channel, Mellow Gaming, give it a sub, where I looked at a terrible game and tried to say what I liked about it. The game was Right to Hell Retribution, and it truly is a terrible game, and the video would have been longer if my Xbox 360 hadn't died the moment I finished doing the first recording session. I feel like it was protesting. The idea was, instead of being all fake angry about the game, to find what elements are worthy of praise. I genuinely find it hard to ignore the good in something, be it films, games, or toys. Not saying I won't think something is awful, I just remember and discuss what it did well. So Universe Ironhide, eh? Bit rubbish, isn't it? This figure has felt like a bit of a punching bag for the Transformers fandom over the years. I can totally get why. He's an absolute state of a figure. You just need to look at his face and see how sad he is. Always looking down due to a series of misjudged clearances in his backpack, forcing his head to stay permanently looking at the ground. Poor chap. There is a way to mod and fix this, but it looks too complex for me. But I said I was going to be nice here, and I'm already failing that, so why don't we start at the top? The face sculpt may look sad, but it's definitely got the character of Ironhide down. He's a tired, older warrior that's seen some stuff. They've kind of nailed it here, I think. And check out this light piping. That is genuinely top tier stuff. Like, there aren't many figures that have eyes that can glow like that, which makes it even more painful that they put a panel behind his head that blocks the light from getting in there. Not off to a great start here, are we? The chest looks suitably Ironhide-y. What's pretty inspired about the chest is that it's actually the back end of the vehicle mode. Kinda clever to use the back end of the SUV alt mode to replicate that transit van front. There's also a neat bit of automorphing going on when you transform him into robot mode, where this mechanical panel slides up into place, giving him a nice bit of robotech detail. The arms are a bit of a bizarre series of chunks. It's kind of become normal on figures for the arms to be fully formed things that tuck away inside the alt mode, sidestepping the need to actually make them form solid parts of the vehicle. Not here though. These arms are made up entirely of chunks of the car windows. Now if I fold them back up you can probably see hints of the horrors we'll be seeing later, but it's still pretty neat, right? Also, check this out, butterfly joints in the shoulders. That's not even common now. I recently got that Legacy Gears figure who has butterfly jointed shoulders, and they really stood out, so I feel like it'd be unfair to not point out that Ironhide did this 17 years ago. While we're posing up a storm, let's talk about articulation. It's actually pretty great, mostly. He's got that butterfly joint, full rotation on the shoulders, below the elbow rotation. The elbows have a limited range and the wrist can only fold in, but it's still pretty decent. There's a waist rotation, but it's a bit on the odd side. It's actually right up inside his chest. Makes for a slightly odd twist. Legs are mostly good, with only the knees letting him down. They can barely get to 45 degrees. That said, everything else is here. He even has an ankle tilt, which wasn't a given back then. Legs are weird design-wise. They're a bit empty on the inside, but somehow still give off the illusion of being chunky. Like the arms, there's parts of the legs that are trying to use as much of the car's bodywork as possible. But when you fold them out like this, it just looks like they're trying to fill in whatever gaps were left over. You'll get a real sense for that when I transform it. I'm sure there had to be a better way. But I'm trying to find positives here, and let's just say it's a good use of car parts, yeah? Probably a bit of a stretch, that. Ironhide comes with a pretty neat weapon that's both a knife and a Gatling gun. Depending on which end you plug into his wrist, a different weapon will pop out the other side. Feels like it was an attempt to mimic the pop-out weaponry that characters had in the live-action movies the year earlier. You're meant to tuck his hand away, but if you leave it out and slide it over, the weapon will stick out a little further. I dig it. It's a little bit different to the usual. Kind of feels like a precursor to those mech tech weapons. Right, let's transform this. It's a bit of an awkward one, so sorry if the sped up footage I'm about to barrage you with looks a bit messy. This is one of them ones where you kind of have to transform multiple parts separately and then smush it all together in the end. Get the arms folded out as shown earlier, swing the chest up and tilt down the bumper to slide away that automorph chest plate. Unfurl the backpack, then open up the shins and rotate the legs around so the thighs fill in the gaps inside the legs. Get the feet folded out and close the shins up. Then it's just a case of getting it all sort of clipped together until it looks like this. Oh no. So yeah. Remember them Crash Test Dummies toys? Oh boy, I said I was going to be looking for nice things to say. I will say that I get the choice to change the vehicle mode. If you're modernising Ironhide, a transit van ain't the coolest thing around, so you may want to change what he turns into. I don't think an SUV is the worst choice. He should be something fairly bulky. There's a big bull bar on the front, which reminds me of X-Brawn from Robots in Disguise 2001. Or at least it would if I knew where the bull bar had disappeared to. There's weapon storage. That's nice. He rolls okay, although he squeaks a bit. I think I'm at my limit here, ain't I? This is shite, ain't it? All that efficient use of car parts I praised earlier has come back to form possibly the most panel-lined monstrosity of a vehicle mode I have ever seen. I genuinely can't think of a worse example. And it's all barely held together. There's a couple of pegs on the back of the feet that pop into the rear wheel arch, but everything else just sort of sits where it does. There's a few kind of tabs, but they don't really clip in. Somehow it isn't loose or anything, so that's a plus. Kind of feels like it's half held together by the front bumper clasping onto the knees. Also, the rear of the car has a habit of sliding inwards because nothing is locking it in place. Then comes the paint. The insistence on making the front windows clear doesn't jive with using the arm parts for the rear side windows. That mismatch always sticks out like a sore thumb for me. Do one or the other, not both. I suppose the rear window being clear does allow for that cool auto morph feature. Just to make matters worse though, there's actually a straight up gap in the back. I assume it's there to allow for clearance on the shoulders, but it just looks unfinished, doesn't it? Oh, and the paint on the clear parts isn't the same as the paint on the back half. All the blue black here is fine, just your standard gloss. All the paint on the clear windows is some sort of weird chalky rough feeling paint. I've seen it reported that this paint goes sticky. Thankfully mine has not done that. Does that count as a positive? So, Universe 2008 Ironhide. I said I was going to focus on the positives, and in keeping with that, I'm going to positively believe I achieved that goal. Honestly though, he's not the worst figure out there. So much of him could have been improved with one more round through the design mill. Ditch the clear plastic and weird paint to match the side pieces. Bit of work to reduce the panel lines in the vehicle mode. Really, a few tweaks and it'd probably be a solid B-. A C+. Maybe just a C. It'd still be janky, but it'd be better than this. Still, when I got this figure, I did find myself messing about with it a fair bit. Guess that means I enjoyed it. I don't have a load of figures from this era, I wasn't collecting at the time, but the ones I do have are all categorically better. I don't want to be mean, but it's genuinely difficult to find good things to say about this lad. There aren't many figures I'd say are worse in my collection. The Quintesson Judge is definitely down there. You know a figure is bad when it makes a better desk tidy than it is a Transformer. Ironhide is better than that. And what a positive note to go out on. You can find me on Blue Sky at Wild Wheels Hat. Feel free to give the channel a like and subscribe, and tell me what figures are better than Universe 2008 Ironhide. That should positively add a few thousand interactions to my channel stats. Cheerio.